Students, this video is a reminder on how to use your pencils and what to do in order to get your smooth skin tone shading. So you need to have a pencil sharpener, you need to have a regular number 2 pencil, and eventually you can use your Prismacolor Ebony to get some of the darker values. I want you to begin with a regular pencil. You can use a cap eraser and your sticky eraser, but I want you to understand that when you're shading, you are just looking at little tiny sections and trying to put together what's inside each triangle. So if I break that down, what that is, here's one section that you should be covering in one day, and this is this current triangle right here, and this is what's inside that triangle. So if I try to reproduce that on my paper using the proper shading technique, I'm going to look at, I've slightly erased a grid here. So I'm going to look at the corner and using smooth shading, I'm holding my pencil at a 45-degree angle using the tip of the pencil. There's a lot of tooth to this paper, so we want to kind of take our time with delicate areas like the nose. And all we're doing is matching values and shapes. If you get it wrong, then you can come back to it later and fix it with a sticky eraser. But it's always better to start lightly and add your layers gradually. So our goal here is to get a smooth skin tone. So what I'm seeing that some students are doing that's incorrect is you're trying to do this like really wide. Now that's fine if it's like hair and we're going to go back and add detail to it, but when it's your face, you need to be more meticulous and more careful. So you can hatch using the tip of the pencil and being very delicate and careful. And do you see the difference between the quality of the hatching on the right versus what I would call scribbling on the left? So you have to hold your pencil at a 45-degree angle, very parallel to the paper. Use the tip of the pencil and keep your pencil sharpened. Especially if you are going darker, we don't want to rush the dark layers. The tooth of the paper will allow you to add layers. So I want you to turn and shade in a different direction, filling in the tooth of the paper. So that's a second layer on this value. And then let's turn it and go a different direction. Now if you're burnishing in small circles, because you want to take that type of technique and get all of the tooth of the paper, you can work in smaller, more detailed areas. This does fill in the tooth of the paper and gives a smooth surface. My pencil is not as sharp as it should be. I should sharpen it again. I need to continue with this tutorial as quickly as possible so that the video is not long, but let's look at the difference between a freshly sharpened pencil texture. I'm able to get a very light value. If I'm holding the very back of the pencil, for your lightest skin tone areas, I've noticed that a lot of you are struggling with that. Hold the back of the pencil, just let the tip of the sharpened pencil touch the paper so you can get those light, smooth values. So this is what I'm seeing in some of those light, smooth values, and it's not what we want. We want to hold the back of the pencil, and I'll just move the camera to where you can see everything that I'm doing. Let's go back to my face so that this is more applicable to what you guys are doing, and I'm looking at this little picture right here. So holding the back of the pencil nice and sharpened. My paper got dirty when I flipped it over. Let's clean that up. If you have a lot of smudges in your workspace, make sure you're putting paper underneath. I am going to go down below this triangle. Now these spots here that are very shimmery, I will leave them blank. Blank for no. You really want to draw what you see and not what you think that you want to see. Just remember, when it's a darker area, it takes layers of hatching. I'm leaving the lighter areas blank for now. Our value and shape matching. So I just want you to understand what is important about shading, just a bunch of reminders, how to hold your pencil, how to angle it on the paper. Don't be drawing straight over. Don't scribble large areas. Hold your pencil, 45-degree angle, let the tip touch the paper. And there's really not going to be very many areas that are as white of the paper. No one's skin is the white of the paper, only the highlights on your face are the white of the paper. We got this sharp curve and how it goes across. Just shape that a little bit more. This might stick out a little bit further right here. This is really where the paper cuts off. The differences between the tip of my nose. Got quite a curve needing here. Get this highlight here. Now what I would do for the lips is just very lightly contour shade them and then go back with another. So when you're working on your lips, put in the values, then we go back with an eraser and take out some of the details and then zoom in on where those are at, kind of map them out, the creases. So I'll find the highlights first. Back in to pull this up on the computer so I can see the details more. Really, if you look at where those highlights are, they're next to the cracks, so we can really define those if we zoom in on your laptop. Please bring your laptop charged every day. We can see everything we need to when we're trying to draw. All right, this area is looking a little rough. I don't know if it's the paper surface or my brush, or I didn't erase well enough, so I'm going to try this again, and I see this happen a lot with you guys. So make sure you have smooth surface and your pencil is ready to go. I'm going to stop the video. This will help you guys